Hey everyone, it's Reason here.
And Vice.
This time I decided to start it so that way I didn't interrupt Vice and then get a curse put on me again.
Hey, you can't prove that it was me.
The carving in my wall saying Vice is not pleased kinda says otherwise.
You never, you never know. It might be a different Vice.
I'm so sure it is. But today we're talking about what is the magical
Hey, I
topic?
still have to do my quote.
Never mind. Vice has her quote first. Then we'll talk about what we were going to talk about.
Get ready for another carving.
I'm in trouble.
So today's quote is by Lord Brian. Don't know who that is. I only go out to get me a fresh appreciation for being alone.
Uh, but Vice, you're never alone. You have me.
Fun. Hmm. That tells me to do good in the world.
Spread love, joy, and peace. Oh my goodness.
Anyway, you can go back to what you were saying.
So today's topic is going to be an interesting one, I think. A very odd one to say the least. We are going to be talking about breakfast today.
Well, it's not all too odd. Our first podcast was about fast food.
It was, wasn't it? We like food. That's to say the least.
Hell yeah.
So, for starters, we are going to discuss just really quick what our opinions on breakfast are. And I think I'll take the lead on this one first. I think that breakfast is the literal most important meal of any day. It really is the only way to start a day. Besides, maybe if you want to, which I have never understood this ability for people to get up and go exercise, go jogging, go running first thing in the morning. That scares me. If you do that, you scare me. I think it's very important to eat first. Because eating a nice, wonderful breakfast full of protein and vitamins and calcium and carbs and all that good stuff is just a great way to get a nice, wonderful start and a good grasp on your day. How do you feel about it, Vice?
I don't eat breakfast.
I was preparing myself to that, and it still hurt me. It still hurt me.
And you know I don't eat breakfast.
I feel some kind of way about this. The fact that Vice doesn't eat breakfast, it boggles my mind. I cannot possibly fathom, because, Vice, what happens when you do eat too early?
I get sick.
Yeah, she doesn't feel well. And I literally, if I don't have breakfast before a certain time, or no, if I don't eat before a certain time, I literally feel like walking garbage. It is horrible. But Vice feels the same way if she eats too early. I don't understand. And apparently this is not an uncommon thing for people to have. Apparently I'm the
I,
weird one.
I didn't know that one. I didn't know that it was an uncommon thing. I just don't eat breakfast because if I eat too early, then I just don't feel well all for the rest of the day. My stomach can't process until 12.
Which I know that there are going to be some people in the comments that are going to be able to explain it to me. I don't get it. I think that, it's the great way to supercharge your day and to put your best foot forward and have good things happen. But apparently it makes people sick. And it just hurts me to think that people don't get to enjoy the joys of breakfast.
I think it also depends on your sleep schedule too. Because
That
if your sleep schedule is normal to where you wake up at like your time, which is what, 7-ish,
7-ish, yeah.
to where you're used to waking up at that time. So you're used to actually going and eating breakfast and then doing all the things throughout the day. When my sleep schedule is so fucked up.
It's all over the place.
And since I work at nights, technically I should be asleep right now because right now it's everybody else's 9:14 in the morning. It's my 9:14 at night.
Basically, her schedule is completely flopped.
Yep. Technically I should be asleep, but I had days off, so
Things were able to go well for Vice. Just a little bit.
so I slept like a normal person. Oops, sorry. See, that's what happens when I eat too early.
I'm not taking that out. I'm keeping that.
That's what happens when I eat too early. I ate an hour ago and my stomach still it went no.
It was not happy with you. But
technically my dinner is my breakfast.
But that isn't to say that you don't that you don't like breakfast, right, Rice?
Did you just call me white rice?
I said right, Vice.
I heard white rice.
I might have messed up. I probably did. My words got jumbled together. But no, I was saying that doesn't necessarily that you don't like breakfast foods. Right, Vice. I almost said white rice.
I don't like eggs.
Vice does not like eggs. I learned this the hard way.
I like eggs every so often, but like I can't stand them every single day for a specific reason.
Do I know this reason?
I think I told you it, but I don't know if you remembered it.
Do you want to share with the podcast?
Yeah. So I used to live in a 2-story house, and my room was right above the kitchen, like right above. The vents went straight into my room, to where every single morning my mom, before she went off to work, would cook eggs. Like eggs was the most important part of her breakfast. That's always what we had in the house. Like all the time was nothing but eggs. So the smell of like eggs, like whenever it's right in front of your face, it's actually good. But whenever it like starts to like sit and like move up, it's not a pleasant smell.
It's kind of sulfury when you think about it.
Yeah,
which
Vice
like isn't not used to because demons. But
hey, don't bring him into this.
But yes, I get that eggs do not keep well. That's cooked eggs don't keep well.
Especially if it sits in the vents and like it's been there for a while, and I wake up at like, I want to say at this time I woke up at like 10 in the morning, to where my mother leaves at like 6 in the morning. It's been sitting for a while.
It's just like, hello, let's be friends, and you're like, no, I don't like that friendship. I'm not okay with it.
I'm good. You need to back off.
Now, yes, Vice?
I was thinking.
Oh, well, I know that, when you think eggs, since we were talking about eggs, let's talk about the next king of breakfast food, which is just a king of food in general, which some people will probably get mad at me for saying it, but it's bacon.
Bacon is delicious.
Bacon is wonderful for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Hell yeah.
Notice I didn't say or.
Huh?
Notice I didn't say or. It's breakfast, lunch, and. But we're saying on breakfast today. And I have a funny story about breakfast. Did I tell you about the time that bacon made me cry?
Yeah, because it wasn't bacon.
So what happened was, I was at Denny's with Big, and he ordered, this was a while back ago, he ordered the bacon sampler plate, and he had some, there was like a bunch of different kinds, and he was like, there was 2 or like 4 slices, no, it was 3 slices that were left, and I was like, are you gonna eat those? He said, nah, you can have them. And he said, well, but he's like, you told me they're turkey bacon, I might not like it. I'm like, I'll try them, because I'm always the kind of person that will try anything one time. And I picked it up, and it smelled fine, and then I took a bite, and I literally, the moment it hit my tongue, my eyes filled with tears, I dropped the bacon on my plate, and I had to hold back from crying. He thought I bit my tongue or something else, but no, the bacon made me sad. The bacon made me so sad.
Because it's not bacon from a pig.
And our friend Small, who you might have seen in the last episode, actually likes turkey bacon. Like, prefers it over real bacon.
Ugh.
I don't understand. I don't understand.
Speaking of bacon, this might make you happy, or this might make you, I think feel sick. I don't know. I've tried deep fried bacon before.
Were they trying to kill you, or...
Oh no, like I've had deep fried bacon. I've had like regular oven cooked bacon. I've had barbecued bacon.
I've had barbecue bacon. That is amazing on a burger. That is absolutely amazing on a burger.
Like if you want less of the grease, do barbecue bacon. Oh, it's so good.
I have found that, just to go on since we're talking about different ways of cooking it, I actually got into an argument with a family member about the best way to cook bacon. They thought the best way was just, put it on a sheet pan and just put it in the oven for however much time. But I stress the importance of throwing it on a rack and then put it on there. So what I did, this is how petty I was. I actually went and bought a metal rack that it's a cookie cooling sheet technically, or cooling rack. And then I got bacon and then I brought it home and I decided to cook bacon right there on the spot. And what happened? The bottom wasn't greasy, all sides were nice and crispy, and all the fat was dripped in a nice, because I also put foil to catch the bacon grease, because bacon grease is, a secondary gift that you have to collect, and if you don't, then you're doing it wrong. I'm sorry, but you are. And what happened? I was proven right, because how you cook bacon is on a rack above the grease. That is what you say. That is what you have to do. Unless, of course, like Vice said, grilling it or smoking it, but not everyone has access to this.
Well, technically, the grilling
would do the same thing, because the
oil
falls away.
The only thing is, with grilling it, you got to be careful, because especially if you have a fire under it,
flare-ups.
Bacon grease is one of the most flaring of it. But at least it doesn't pop at you, and you don't have to use like a lid for a shield.
It doesn't pop, but this is actually something I learned recently. When you cook any kind of pork, bacon is actually quite notorious for this, is that, you know how whenever you sometimes cook with fat, it splatters and then it gets all around, and it's like, it's all over like the stove top?
And then you get like spots on your hand because you went too close to it?
Pretty much, but it turns out that pork grease has a funny way of acting when it's heated up. It's actually smaller, and it's able to actually travel up on air. So when it's hot, it rises, and then it goes down. So that's why whenever you cook bacon in a pan, the grease somehow manages to get over everything, like really far up and really far to the left and right. And for people who have glasses, it gets all over their glasses. And a tip for this, which you might look ridiculous if you do this, but you actually wear a hat that has a large brim in the very front at least, and it actually keeps the grease from getting on your glasses. You might look ridiculous with a sun hat in the middle of the kitchen, but you won't have greasy glasses.
Well, like there's different tips and tricks on how to cook different things. One thing that I can't stand that goes with breakfast and other things is onions. Like I can't stand cooking them. No matter how fresh or how old the onion is, it always affects my eyes.
Really? I didn't know that.
Well, I have a sensitive eye. I have actually had a contact break into three pieces in one of my eyes before.
And your eye has never really been the same since that.
Yeah, it's more like I can see out of my eye. It's just been more sensitive to where I have to have a contact that's actually fits my eye to actually put it in, or else I will have the most difficult time with it. And so me cutting the onions, it gets into the sensitive eye to where it's just like whenever I cook or anything like that, I just tell like my parents or my brother or like one of my family members to go, "Hey, cut the onions for me."
Please, I can't do this. I have a doctor's note, and you start saying that.
Yeah, just pull it out, doctor's note.
Yeah, I can't do this. Haha, you're stuck cutting my onion. But no, I think crap. Okay, we were just talking about bacon, and you were. I had a feeling you were going to talk about onion. Um, Give me. I can remember this.
Sorry, sorry. Random thoughts make us go to different directions, but you know we always end up back on them.
We do, we do. Oh, I remember now. So another well-known bacon food. Well, I mean, it does go with bacon, but Vice is probably gonna giggle when I bring up this topic. Pancakes. Would you like to tell them the story, Vice?
Okay, so with pancakes, oh, pancakes are so good. Pancakes, waffles, all that is all good. But Reason can't cook pancakes.
To save my life.
He burns them and other stuff like that. And yeah, he can't cook pancakes to save his life. So one day, whenever we were living together, I was just like, hey, I kind of want to cook pancakes and stuff like that.
And
To
I was
where,
like, well, have fun. You know they're a pain in the ass to make, right?
to where I was making the pancakes and I put the first pancake down. He went out into the different room and then he came back and he saw it and he's just like, what were you like?
I literally said, I was like, what kind of black magic witchcraft did you cast on this pancake? It was literally, I kid you not. It was literally like one of those like pancakes that you see in the commercials with like the perfectly golden top. There wasn't any like little burn spots. It was perfectly round. It was fluffy. And I'm just like, what kind of evil? What kind of evil? Because see, I have the worst luck cooking pancake in my family, but no one in my family is able to actually properly cook pancakes. They always come out uneven. There's always spots that are like a little funky. They always break. My family has the worst luck cooking pancakes. But Vice, by some unholy and unnatural reason, was able to make this this perfect pancake. And it gets even better because see, I sent a picture of this pancake to my friend and I said, look what Vice had done. And she texted back, what kind of witchcraft? As you can see, it was unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Oh man, I wanna like get a picture. I wanna get that picture of the old pancake that I did and
I can pull it up. And you know what? I'm gonna link it in the description.
pull it up and just put a picture of it in the video.
Yeah, okay, I'll do that. Definitely. It was unholy. I tell you, it was unreal. I mean, you guys can probably see it right now at this point. It's just not okay.
Witchcraft. It wasn't even witchcraft. My family I've always had pancakes. My papa, my grandpa, but I call him my papa, he would always make us pancakes. He would make us Mickey Mouse pancakes. He would put like a chocolate frosting on with Oreos on top and then worms in it. And so in my family, we've always had pancakes. So learning to make them wasn't hard.
Unbelievable.
I even took a culinary class in high school and we made pancakes one time. I made a chocolate chip Mickey Mouse pancake, and one of my classmates who he had the picture. He's actually holding the picture with a thumbs up and stuff like that because everybody was just like, "How in the hell?" It's just like I've always had pancakes in my family.
It just seems to have the unnatural, raw, inhuman, unbelievable talent of making these pancakes.
Pancakes. I can even make waffles good too.
Yeah, well, okay. Before we get on the topic of waffles, because I had something I was going to express about this, but I was going to ask, how do you like your pancakes? What kind of pancakes do you like the best?
Me?
Yeah.
I like pancake or like it's an almond type pancake batter.
Mm-hmm.
To where you can taste the almonds and then you put either peanut butter or butter on the top, mostly peanut butter, but not organic peanut butter because
That
Ew.
stuff that stuff splits really bad.
It's I don't even like it. Like it's not good to me. Just like I don't like brown rice. It just doesn't settle right with me.
I know that one.
To where like we and then so the peanut butter on top and then you put bananas on top and then natural syrup, like from Canada syrup.
Real maple
On
syrup, not
real
not to
not the
diss on
sugary
Aunt
shit.
Jemima or anything, but like that's just sugar with some light color.
So yeah, like real maple syrup on top. And you're golden.
Very nice. My
Like
personal favorite
like
is
my pancakes.
uh, I see what you did there. My personal favorite of taking my pancakes is very simple. Blueberries and whipped cream.
Ooh.
I mean, I would put syrup on it if it wouldn't be a complete sugar bomb at that point, but as much as I like pancakes, I can't eat more than like one or maybe two. If they're small, I can eat like three, but I can't eat too many because they just like sit like rocks in my stomach, and I'm like, you're so delicious, but you make me feel bad. But now
Yeah,
back.
because it's like bread. It's technically bread inside your stomach, and bread absorbs
Oh my
everything.
gosh, that reminds me. So this is still kind of a tangent, but kind of not. My brother was sick one day, and he decided, you're gonna find this really funny. One day he was like, "What can you eat when you're sick?" And I was like, "Well, there's the brat diet, which is bananas, rice, applesauce, and toast or tea." Um, and he's like, "Okay, I guess I can manage that." And then I come back and I go to the kitchen and he's like eating pancakes. And I'm like, "What are you doing? You can't be eating those." He's like, "Yeah, I can. You said I could eat toast." And like pancakes are kind of like bread. And I'm like, "Look at the name. What is the name?" And he's like, "Pancake." Oh. Pancakes are as
Uh,
much bread as much cake is bread, little brother. That's something on another level. That's some next
if
level type stuff right there.
if anything, it's fancy bread.
It's not even
Cake is
fancy
just
bread. It's just
it's
cake.
cake is fancy bread with a lot more sugar.
It's like a donut, which we will
Fancy
get
cake.
onto in a moment after we're done with waffles. Because I have a story to tell about waffles because I feel some kind of way about them.
Oh, wait, is it the
The savory one.
savory?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so
You, small and I don't know what to call her
big.
yet.
It was well. You see what happened. So I was hanging out with Big and Small one day at Small's house, and I was like, they had a waffle iron, and like I loved this thing because it was amazing. And I was like, I'm gonna make a savory waffle because I love savory food. I love salt over sugar any day of the week. And so I aggressively spiced it. I put a bunch of cheese in it. I put a bunch of ham in it, and I'm eating this thing, and it's fucking amazing. Okay, it is amazing. I don't care what anybody says. This thing is amazing. But the other two who are inadept and don't know about food, I'm calling you out right now. As you can see, I feel some kind of way about this. They thought it was disgusting, and I was offended. I was offended to next level stuff. And I have another friend who actually was the one about who asked what Vice did for the witchcraft. She thought this was delicious. She loved the idea of it. And I took her opinion more, one, because she sided with me, because obviously, I'm going to pick the sides I like. But she also cooks a lot more and knows a lot more about food. So I'm like, I like your opinion on the matter because it works. I don't care what anybody says. It works because I didn't put an excessive amount of sugar in the mix, so it's not like I made like a sweet and savory. No, it was pure savory. It was delicious.
You've made me one before.
Have I?
Yeah,
Well,
like
then what do you think?
I actually I like both of them. I like both sweet and
Yeah,
savory.
sweet is
Um,
fine, but don't tell me my
I had
disgusting is my savory is disgusting because I will eat you.
no,
I'll put
no,
your hand
it's
in the
not.
waffle iron.
It's not disgusting at all.
Thank you.
Again, I had both. I'm like my brother is a professional chef. He graduated from Le Cordon Bleu.
Expensive
He
ass
is
school.
a chef. He cooks a lot of things before. So I think I've told him about your savory waffles before, and he's just like, yeah, that's actually a normal thing. Like some people like more savory than sweet.
That is me on the subject, but I digress and allow Vice to talk about waffles if Vice chooses to talk about waffles.
Oh, well, whenever I was growing up, whenever I was little, again, waffles, pancakes, and everything like that, they were always sweet and stuff like that. So trying your savory waffles, I was just like, at first I was skeptical because it's just like, well, it's not gonna taste of what you think it's gonna taste like, so it's gonna mess with your mind a bit. But the moment I actually tried it, the thing is that you didn't put cheese in mine. You didn't put cheese and the other stuff in it. You just had like the salt, the pepper, and
A few
you
spices,
know,
I guess. Yeah, I guess that makes, yeah.
a a plain. You made me basically a plain savory waffle. To where it's just like, again, it's not gonna be what you think it's gonna taste like, so it's gonna mess with your mind. It didn't mess with my mind at all.
I guess because you knew what
But
was coming, you were like, alright, I'm gonna mentally prepare myself. At least the key here is that Vice didn't just spit it out, because that's basically the way you know whether or not it's good.
yeah, if I don't like it, again, I will spit it out right away.
Now,
Um,
about the next sweet topic, I've noticed that we're talking a lot about breakfast and sweets, sweet breakfast things, which I
I
found
guess it's a
is,
way to wake you up.
I am guessing that's what it is. It's a big thing to just eat, like, sweets at breakfast. You know, you got muffins and donuts, which are crazy. Like, it's just next level, but, I was gonna ask, so what kind of donuts do you like best, Vice?
Uh, glaze? I like glaze.
Just the plain old glazed donut?
Yeah, because whenever you have like any of the toppings or anything, like the powdered ones are pretty good too, but whenever you have too much sugar and then you have like a layer of frosting on top of it, it's just too much sugar.
Does it hurt your teeth? I know for some people it hurts their teeth.
No, it doesn't hurt my teeth or anything like that, but it's just too much sugar.
I have a story about
What?
donuts I just remembered. So,
About who?
I have
Oh,
a
you're
donut
not.
story about donuts. So when Vice and I were living together, one day
Oh,
I'm like, cause she was asleep, she was like half asleep, and she was just sitting there. I think she was on her phone, and I'm like, I walk in and I'm like, hey, do you want some yum yum? Because it's a donut place that was just walking distance from my house, and she just sits up, looks at me, and says, "What? What did you
I
say,
felt
Vice?"
threatened. I felt so threatened. I thought reason threatened me, and I have to show my dominance in that situation. No, but it's because he's just like, hey, you want yum yum? I was like, what the fuck is yum yum?
What the fuck is yum
I
yum?
didn't I didn't realize he was saying yum yum donuts. Like I have one not too far from my house either, but I've never been to a yum yum donuts or anything like that. So whenever I am half asleep, plus him saying yum yum really fast, I was like, what the fuck is yum yum?
And I was just like, excuse me? What did I do? She was just so threatened by it. She was so confused for a moment. She was like, what did you just say to me?
I thought I had to show my dominance.
It was great. Although I personally
You
think that, you know what's interesting about donuts is why, do you know why why donuts have a hole in them?
should I care?
I mean, you can. It's just a fun fact.
It, I don't remember.
It's the way that they cooked. Apparently, people were
Oh
getting
yeah.
sick from the first donuts that were raw in the middle or like overcooked on the outside, and nobody wants an overcooked donut. I've had a few of those.
Well, okay, so there's the original donut where it's fried straight in front of you,
The old
and stuff like
fashioned
that.
and
And
all that good stuff.
the the old fashioned donuts. I've actually made old fashioned donuts again in my culinary class.
Oh, aren't you awesome?
But then you also have like I still have the donut recipe and stuff like that. I know how to make them.
That's amazing.
But then you have like the donuts that get to sit there for a while, like they're not really fresh, they're not fried in front of you. and other stuff like that. Like, there's two differences.
And then, of course, you have the beauty of Dale donuts, which some people are probably thinking to me like, what did you just say, the beauty of them? Yes, because of the fact that you can then make donut soup. Have you ever heard of donut soup?
No, but I feel like it has milk.
It does have milk. Basically, you take old donuts and you like mix it together, and it basically becomes like a bit of a watery paste. And it sounds disgusting. And after the age of about 12, it is. But before that, it's amazing.
Well, you also have to have the donuts that have like all the frosting on it too,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're like at the age of 12.
But my personal favorite still is, always will be, is the raspberry filled. That's always been my favorite. But there's a new frontrunner which I did not expect to like. It was actually one night I was hanging out with a friend of mine. It was big, and I'm fairly no. I don't think no. I hadn't no. I wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't that. No. I was hanging out with Big, but it was a different night this happened. So I was hanging out with Big. It was late night, and there was nothing open except for Yum Yum because the place is 24 hours. So we went there and we got donuts, and there were like 5 different options. They had like a bunch of glaze, which was what he wanted. But I'm like, oh, they don't have any of the ones that I like. And I was like, I'll just take this Boston cream one. And I was like prepared to take a bite and not like it, but I wanted something, so I got it. And holy crap, it's so good. It is so good. And the thing is that creams from like places like that are, they're chain restaurants aren't always that great, but this was actually pretty solid.
Okay, yeah, and so so since we're going with the sweet and stuff like that, another kind of sweet, kind of not breakfasty thing, cinnamon rolls.
Oh god, I think you have a few things to say about cinnamon rolls, or one particular brand of cinnamon rolls, don't you? Go on, Vice, we have
There,
plenty of time. Tell them your story about cinnamon rolls.
well, it's not even the cinnamon rolls itself; it's just Cinnabon. So,
Oh,
like, in my opinion, cinnamon rolls are way too sugary to even be considered breakfast.
it's a dessert. Stop playing yourself.
To where, like, I think in Japan or like in one of the Asian countries, I think pancakes are even considered as a dessert.
I believe it.
To where, like, Cinnabon, like, Universal Studios has a Cinnabon inside the park and outside the park, and so the one inside the park is run by park people. The one outside is actually run by Cinnabon people, like the people who actually get trained in all of the different stuff, trained to make them, trained to like do all the different stuff. We only have a certain amount of stuff, plus we have cooks. To where Cinnabon is the worst place to be ever at night because the line circles around the building because everyone wants their last bit of Cinnabon. Fuck you.
And Vice has another reason why she really doesn't like Cinnabon.
I have the worst time ever at Cinnabon. Ever.
Ever. See, Vice has this thing that is, anti-sticky. Hates sticky.
Sticky.
And the thing is that Vice is
I touched
okay.
like the bottom of my chair yesterday and it was all sticky and I was just like, I have to wash my hands.
Bye-bye. See, Vice, I found that Vice is okay. Okay, not okay, but Vice is more tolerant of sticky on her hands, like if she's working when she can't do anything about it. What you hate more is when it's on your feet.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see.
If you're not able to move, then how are you supposed to do shit?
And you just feel like you're being weighed down. It just sounds awful. I hear about it often, and every time it somehow manages to somehow get worse every time I hear about it. At some point, I'm just convinced that there's going to be a giant cinnamon roll that's just going to eat her, and then she's going to have to, like, punch her way out of it.
Because I'm not going to eat my way out of it.
God, no. You just, like, you are covering me in sticky. Like, it'll be like a whole anime scene where it's like you slowly transform into your true self.
All right, so let's get away from sticky. From sticky. Breakfast sandwiches. Go.
Breakfast sandwiches? Okay. Well, I mean, breakfast sandwiches, I'm not... Well, I can't really think of breakfast sandwiches, but I would say a breakfast burger.
I remember whenever I used to live with Reason, he would wake me up early because we had to actually go and do stuff in the mornings on certain days.
We had
We
volunteer
had to go,
work, and so we
yeah,
were like, we had to
we
get
had to
up and
go
go do things.
volunteer and stuff like that. To where he would always wake me up. We would always like make our breakfast and make our lunches and stuff like that. To where one day, I think I did this first. To where I made chicken, hamburger, cheese. I basically made something to eat in the morning, which would be considered breakfast, look like something you would make for dinner.
I think I remember this.
You kind of just looked at it and go, what the hell? Because I made like a small chicken breast, a small hamburger patty on top of bread, cheese.
Oh, I remember this thing, this fucking amalgamation. I was like, that's not breakfast. And you're like, well, I'm eating it for breakfast, so it's breakfast. And I was like, well, then it's breakfast.
I think I did the same thing with the quesadilla.
Oh my god, we'll get on that on the lunch episode. No, it was a dinner. I was actually hoping we'd get to that topic on the dinner episode, because that's a funny story. But breakfast, okay, so you don't like eggs too much. I mean, you're okay with them once in a while, but me, I absolutely love eggs, but my favorite way of eating eggs is when they're runny, and a lot of people are like, what the fuck? But the thing is that I have found, like, I have specifically ordered, like, from Denny's, I've wanted, because since they're like a chain, they can't actually cook the egg runny because of health reasons. So one time I actually ordered just like a regular burger from there, and then I brought it home to go, and I decided to cook 2 eggs, and they were super runny, and I put them in, and I took, like, you're gonna laugh at this story. I take one bite, and the egg explodes, and it literally exploded so much it got all over my glasses. And I was more sad about the eggs having to be recooked, and they were broken all over me, than the fact that I was a mess. No, I lost my breakfast sandwich. I lost my breakfast burger, and I was not a happy reason. Not a happy reason.
You were not a happy camper.
But no, breakfast sandwiches. I'm trying to think of breakfast sandwiches, because I've never really. I mean, what do you consider breakfast sandwich? Because me, I go burger. If I'm gonna eat something like that, I'm gonna go straight full forward burger with the bacon, the cheese, the egg, the patty, all that good stuff.
Well, the thing is that if you really considered breakfast sandwiches, you would think fast food restaurants.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if we were going to talk about fast food restaurants.
Well, we could talk a little bit about that and then get back to home cooked meal because
I figured we could go on it real quick because we have plenty of time.
Like we don't really have to talk about breakfast sandwiches because they're just like it's
really when I think breakfast sandwiches I think really there is a good point though I could make is that so as we know breakfast sandwiches usually when we think of it it's fast food, but my friend, she recently got a breakfast sandwich maker. And I went to her house recently, and she was like, look at this thing. And she, like, made herself a breakfast sandwich. And then when she was done, she was about to put it away. And I'm like, where do you think you're putting that? She's like, away. And I'm like, nah. I'm going to use that. And she was like, okay. And so I made it. And this thing is amazing. It, like, makes breakfast sandwiches in, like, 4 minutes. I want one.
Maybe for your birthday.
Maybe for my birthday, yeah. I'm definitely going to consider investing in one of them because it's great. You don't have to worry about, like, having to flip your egg or anything. Everything's just good to go and ready to it's all piled up in this nice little thing. The only problem is that it really only fits English muffins or anything around that size. So, That's the only drawback. And it's fine.
I guess that's basically what you would really, like, either a biscuit or an English muffin.
Yeah, you don't want to eat something too big. I mean, well, some people don't want a big breakfast. I've always found for me, it's eat breakfast like a king, lunch like a pauper, and lunch like a prince, and dinner like a pauper. That's usually been my kind of thing. Well, sometimes I just eat huge all day. But most of the time, my breakfast is usually my largest thing, and I always go extra. Vice knows this. Vice knows this too well. Sometimes my breakfasts are just like, why? Even I question myself, why? But while we're on the topic of like the to-go stuff, here's something that I'm pretty sure you probably have a good opinion on. Breakfast burritos.
I like them.
Get this. I don't know if I told you, but the absolute best breakfast burrito you're probably not gonna believe me. I've ever had was made from my college campus.
Huh.
It is literally like the greatest thing ever. It is so good. Like, when I wasn't going to, sometimes like there was one, it was one semester, well not semester, it was like one time, a few times, I've gone to the campus just to order one, because it's like, who's gonna question you? It's, no one's gonna be like, oh, let me see your ID before I take your order. Like, they're gonna be like, alright, I'll take your order. And so I wasn't even enrolled in that semester, and I was just like, I'm gonna go get myself a breakfast burrito, and what did I do? I got a breakfast burrito. And it wasn't even
going
that
off a breakfast
expensive.
burrito, something that I quite enjoy is omelets.
Ooh, yeah, you do like omelets are so good. Omelets are like they're great.
I've actually surprised my brother because how I make my omelets. You know how you normally make an omelet? You like scramble the eggs, you put it down, and then you know, push it a bit and let all the it'll go into the missing area. Then you continue to do that until it's, you know, a nice
And until it's a
smooth,
nice
flat
homogeneous flat dish.
How I make my omelets is that I don't do that. I scramble them, I put them down, and then I put a lid on top. To where the steam cooks the top, and then at a certain point you move it a bit to where you can actually either move it to a new pan to flip it, or you carefully flip it, or you let it sit a little bit longer, put all the stuff, and then you flip it on and then you fold it in half.
Very cool. But you know,
it's basically go.
Well, no, it's now that you reminded me, there is this method I saw that is crazy. I actually did it and it was so cool. So it's basically, so you cook a burger on the side, and I actually had a George Foreman grill, and that's the thing we would use all the time. Remember Vice? We would never stop using that damn thing.
We would never stop using it to where at a certain point, like, the smoke detector went off because it's just like, you're using that thing way too much.
It would go off for everything, and it's like, no, we're still gonna keep using it. So I made a burger.
No.
And then I got like 2 eggs and I scrambled them and then I poured them into a really large pan. Like, it was a really big pan that I had, and it spread out really thin, so it cooked really easily and thin. And then you put the burger in the middle, and then you basically fold the scrambled egg sheet around the burger.
And the thing is, you also have to put cheese, tomatoes, and all that different stuff inside of it. And
it's like basically you make a pocket. You wrap a burger in egg. It's so weird. It's so good. I've only successfully done it like 3 times. Other times I've just like ripped it and I was like, screw it. I'm gonna just fold this up and put it on top of the burger. It's a perfectly good egg, just ripped.
I think another type of method on omelet that I've actually done is that I cooked the first layer, put that to the side, and then I cooked another layer of egg, but then I put all the stuff on the second layer of the egg, and then I took the first already cooked egg, put that on, you know, like with the quesadilla. Don't say it like that. You'll make him mad. Quesadilla.
Thank you, Vice.
I tried so hard not to say it like that.
Because you're gonna go crazy and say it in the lunch and dinner episodes, so you're just gonna enjoy that.
Yeah, but like, you know, with that method of how you cook that, and then I did that with the omelet, with just like an omelet with.
Very cool. Speaking of omelets, how do you feel about frittatas?
What the fuck is a frittata?
It's basically like a giant omelet. Like you take like 16 eggs and you scramble them, and then you fill it with, like, you put mushrooms, spinach, tomatoes, and basically anything you want to throw in it. You put that in the pan, you cook that, and then you pour the eggs on top, and then you know how that's like a huge like amount of eggs. Then you throw it in the oven afterwards. So it's like an omelet cake almost.
So the frittata is basically a cake.
A cake of omelet with it has no flour, obviously. Well, I mean, some people put it for a thickener, but I don't think that's a good idea because you never can cook out the raw flavor. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about frittatas, which are egg cakes.
Yeah. Well, my door was just open to where outside I smell coffee, which is a breakfast food and a way to wake up.
This is actually a good point. I think this is a good way to. I think this is another good method to Another thing to point out. So, Vice, how do you drink coffee, right? Or rarely, but you do when you get the. Oh no, you don't drink coffee because there's a reason for it,
I
right?
don't drink coffee. I drink decaf.
Because Vice actually gets an upset stomach. You have like it's a caffeine allergy, isn't it? Something like that.
It's a small caffeine allergy that shows up if I drink soda, teas, coffees, like anything with strong caffeine.
Makes her sick. I don't drink coffee personally unless it's like Starbucks that is like nothing but sugar. Basically, it's like, oh, would you like some coffee with your sugar kind of thing. I usually drink like that. That's like rarely like I don't drink like plain like black coffee or even just like regular coffee because I get like my heart sometimes get a little bit erratic. It's not a good thing. What I drink is tea, and I know that Vice used to make fun of me for it. I don't know if you remember, but it was you were like tired, you were like half asleep, and you came out and I was drinking tea, and you were like, "Oh, you think you're so British, don't you?" You don't remember that?
I do remember that, but again, I was like half asleep whenever it happened.
You think you're
You think
so British.
you think you're so British, don't you? I remember you had a comeback, but I can't remember what it was.
I neither do I. I probably was like, yeah, well, I probably made a joke about Prussians, and then you got mad at me, and then I was like, ah, don't hurt me.
And then you ran away.
Run away screaming. So we've talked about what there is to drink that, well, with coffee and tea, but we haven't exactly talked about juice. And, well, while some people are like, oh, what are you really going to talk about juice? It's not that big of a deal. And I have to say that it is a big deal. Because of the fact that, yes, whenever you think of breakfast, you only have really two options, orange or apple. But, the brand makes all the difference in the world, and yes, you can debate me on this. Orange juice is not orange juice in every carton. Despite what some people might want to say.
If you drink Sunny D for breakfast,
What are
yeah,
you, 5?
that's not orange juice. It may look like orange juice, but that's not orange
It's not
juice.
orange juice. Oh, how do you feel about pulp, Vice?
I actually like pulp. Not
I
a lot of people do. I do.
I love pulp. I think that's the only way to drink it. It's there. It's supposed to be drunk that way. But Big actually, he's such a baby. He cannot handle like a little like bit of pulp. He says it feels weird on the tongue. I'm like, oh, get over it. I think actually Small is the same way that she doesn't like pulp either.
I think it
I don't know what it is. I think pulp is delicious. It's like that's why like one time I was like, "Hey, can we get extra pulp?" And like my whole because I was shopping with my family, and they were like, "What? You want what?" And I'm like, "Yeah, extra pulp." And they're like, "No," and I'm like, "Yes, it's delicious."
reason. Go shopping with me. Go shopping with me. We have a lot of the same likes,
Yeah, that's true.
and we have kind of the same likes. So whenever we go shopping together, we've actually did go shopping together whenever we lived together. We would buy like all like it's just like, oh, we need this because we can make this into this.
We
Like
literally
we
were on
always
the same
ahead.
page. Let's see. Apple juice.
And then
Mm.
okay, so I don't know if any if this is only in California or if they actually have it in different places, but there is this apple juice that is actually in a glass
Yes,
container
that shaped like
that
an
is shaped
apple.
like an apple. It is the best apple juice in the world,
It's
in my
so
opinion.
weird.
I
It's
love
like
it so
I don't
much.
get it. It's so weird. It's like so different. It is so good. It's like the best. It is undeniably the best. And I would like to know why is it the best? What makes this so good?
I don't know why. It's just so good. I used to have it whenever I was little. Like I one thing that I like, and I think it's kind of the product thing and product placement is the apple shaped glass.
Did you enjoy the apple shaped glass?
I did enjoy the apple shaped glass, but again, it didn't deter from the taste or anything like that. It was just really, really good. And I'm not going to explain, I don't want to explain an apple just in case someone else has a different opinion on an apple.
How can someone have a different opinion on an apple? It's just apple. Although, it is the internet. Someone's going to say something. And I'd love to. I will literally let
My
loose.
favorite
I
type
will
of
let
apple is
loose. I will let you loose on that person if they decide to come for you for an apple.
yeah, but like it's so good. I love that juice. Another thing for a breakfast juice would be considered cranberry
I
juice.
was gonna say. I was actually thinking, is cranberry juice kind of it? Yeah. I mean, okay. So there are two. There are two things about cranberry juice. There's the cranberry. There's actual legit cranberry juice. It's tart. It's crisp. It's in your face. And then you have the cocktail, which is basically water, sugar, and a few drops of thing. It's like not. It's not the real thing. Like the real thing is like, oh, it's so good. It's so tart, so wonderful. But you can't drink too much of it because it gets in your eyeballs. I swear. But then you have the other one, which is just like, oh yeah, I love cranberry juice. You're not drinking cranberry juice. You're drinking sugar water that happens to be red.
Yeah, like I like the taste of cranberry juice. I just don't like it's not even the aftertaste. It's just the feeling of the tart.
You don't like the tart? That's the reason I drink it specifically.
Like
Is because it's like boom.
no, I like the taste. I like the taste of the cranberry juice. It's just like whenever it's left on your mouth, like after you drink it and stuff like that, and that layer of like I don't know what it is on your mouth.
There's something that
It
gets left behind.
it's it's kind of like cotton mouth
Hmm.
and stuff
Oh,
like
that
that,
reminds me of
and
the
stuff like that.
stuff
Where it's a
whenever.
little bit dry, to
Oh,
where you want to drink more, but then you know that it's just going to leave the same layer of stuff on your tongue.
it's a paradox or a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're stuck with it. Tis
My
the evil.
the brand my mom likes is like Ocean View or some shit like that.
Ocean spray, I think. It's ocean something.
Yeah, it's Ocean something with the cranberry juice. You see commercials for it all the time.
With the two guys that are standing in the bog with all the cranberries around them.
Yes.
You know what I heard about that? Those are like, which actually makes sense, is that those aren't cranberries that they're sitting in. They're basically just like little dyed plastic beads.
Well, Hollywood, everything is fake. Don't trust
I
anything.
know. They're all, because the thing is that technically, usually cranberries have like a lot of discoloration. Like they can be basically half white on one side because of the way that they sometimes grow. And that doesn't make for nice camera work. So they're basically just a bunch of beads that are just floating there. And I mean, we could
Yep.
talk for another hour on how Hollywood and advertisers and stuff change everything, which we probably will one day. But I think we're getting close to the end of our episode. Oh yeah, definitely. So we should probably start wrapping it up soon. And I think I
Which
have a. Hmm?
we've talked about like okay, so the last thing is that I will let you go on a rant about is the breakfast of champions.
It's not necessarily just. It's just, what do you consider your? What is your ideal breakfast? If say it didn't make you sick. Well, I mean that's a tough one to ask you because it kind of makes you sick. Hmm. Do you have anything that comes to mind when I say your ideal breakfast or breakfast of champions?
No, not really.
Hmm.
If I don't actually sit down and eat, I will have two meals in the day, and if anything, I'm a grazer. I snack. I don't like I if I have to sit down and eat, I'm actually forced to sit down and eat. Other than that, I just graze and eat all day. Just small little snacks.
Just all around. Well, okay. Then I guess in that case, mine is a little wonderful thing I like to call eggy rice. Basically, it's just white rice, a bunch of white rice, it's been aggressively covered in black pepper, and then I throw three perfectly
Okay.
fried eggs on top of it that are runny and delicious, and I just mix that up with two forks. So that way it spreads all nicely, and voila, it is gorgeous. That is like my ideal breakfast. I eat that at least twice a week.
Whenever you have all the stuff for it.
Yeah, because I always have eggs, and thank goodness we have a rice cooker now, so rice is easy to make all the time.
Yep.
So yeah, that's my ideal breakfast. And
I think for dinner, I think for the next podcast, lunch.
yeah, when we talk about lunch, what are you thinking?
Mm. Well, you'll get my opinion on lunch whenever
Okay.
we talk about it in the next podcast.
So that is my ideal breakfast. My breakfast of champions, I guess you could say. And I guess that means that's up to me to now close this off with my little quote of the day. And I think this one's kind of relevant to this topic. Eat diamonds for breakfast and shine all day.
Uh,
Hurry,
uh,
while she can't say anything mean. Bye, everyone!